Hey guys, I wanted to hop on here. Let me cut this light on. I know it's horrible. Oof. All bright now. Huh. So I wanted to jump on here and do a little bit of a live and do a makeup look with you guys and do a little bit of a talk about me and my backstory. That way I could answer questions. This is probably going to be one of my longest lives. So you know. If you don't see this bright red live symbol up in your upper left-hand corner, you're probably watching the replay. Let me know that you're watching. Hashtag replay. Show me some love, you guys. This is not going to be an easy live for me, but I'm going to push through it. So, let's go ahead and start off. As I'm kind of doing my setting powder, which I will be using in this video. Hey, thanks for watching. Let me know that you're here. When you hop on, say, hey, what's up, girl? How you doing? Whatever. Moscato. Tells you what type of day it's been. Yay! So, of course, I'm Megan. 29 years old. I'll be 30 this next year. Yay, me. Gemini season. I'm a wife. I'm a mother of one. I'm a caregiver. I'm all around goofball. Take my glasses off so I can kind of do my face and talk to you guys at the same time. So, sorry. My backstory is kind of long. And so I'm going to skip to the main parts of my backstory, and hopefully this will help you guys get to know me a little bit better and see where my heart is and why I am with this company and why I believe in their mission and why I believe in the unique foundation and defending innocence. Sorry you hear barking in the background. That would happen to be my puppy and my daughter going insane. So, I was born, and when I was about a year old, my mom and dad got divorced. Don't remember it. Whatever. So, I lived with my mother, my grandmother Lita, my grandfather George, my brother Shannon, and then sometimes my Uncle Sonny. I'm gonna come in with the primer. My grandmother and my grandfather, they lived and had a house in Commerce City, Colorado. Which the house was built way back World War I era, way back in forever and ever ago. So my brother tormented me growing up. He wasn't very nice at all when I was growing up. He is older, but mentally he is not older than me. But I'm going to put this on my eyes using my brush. So when I was 6 years old, my brother went to foster care. Because, like I said, he just was not nice to me. He used to torture me. It was his favorite thing to do. And he just was not hanging with the best people ever. So when my brother got out of foster care that first time, which was only briefly, he was there. He continued to torture me. It's the best way to put it. Is torture, because that's basically what it was. Luckily, I had some amazing cousins on my side growing up. Most of my childhood, well, when I was little, a baby and that, I had a few of my cousins that were a fixture in my life. One of which is my amazing cousin Abby. She is an angel and absolute inspiration for me. And she's helped me and has guided me throughout some of the hardest times in my life, which I will be elaborating on here shortly. So I was sexually abused and physically abused by my brother and some of his friends growing up. It's kind of hard because you don't ever want to admit that it happened to you. He went back to foster care after he threw a pogo stick at me. Through a glass door that had the wrought iron frames. If y'all remember that, it's probably just way, way, way old. Almost hit me. I ate with glass. I remember that. And then I was 8 years old when my grandfather died. My grandpa was my best friend. He was the best man I had ever known. I mean, how many other papas will actually keep you awake just so you can watch Elf with them? I don't know many. But that was our thing at night. He was amazing. Contrary to what some of my family will say about him, he's the best man in the world. He died from a brain aneurysm. It was kind of like 6 o'clock at night. My mama, Lita, my grandma, sent me in to go get Grandpa for dinner because she had just got done cooking, and I was playing in the kitchen with myself like typical. I went in the first time and was like, "Hey, Papa, time to get up, time for dinner." He was like, "Okay." 15 minutes by, my mama was like, "Megan, go get your Papa up." Went back again, and he groaned, kind of like he was trying to sleep. And I went back and told my mama, I was like, he's groaning, he's sleeping, he's taking a nap, he's tired. Cool, whatever, at that point. And then another 10 minutes went by, and she's like, "Megan, you need to go get your Papa up. He needs to eat dinner. Go do it Now, so I went in there, and this time I flipped on the light. Mind you, I was really little. My first traumatic event. Flipped on the light, and I see my papa in a pool of his own blood. He was my protector. I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't. Mind you, this was the night of February 10th, 1999, that this happened. And this date comes to be a good thing for me here, years in the future. My mama, my mom, uncle, they called the fire department because my papa was not a small man. By any means, he was not small. At all. Care what anybody says, he was not small. He actually was a very girthy man. But amazing. Completely amazing. So they got him up onto the stretcher. Hey Megan, thanks for joining, honey. I'm kind of doing a little bit of a backstory on me and doing my makeup at the same time. I'm going to be debuting the beloved palette number 2 tonight. But I'm going to be also using colors from palette 6 and 3 as well. I'm going to come in with Calm from palette 6 and use that as my base tone. Well, like I was saying, they came and got my papa up. Got him on the stretcher to go to the hospital because he needed to go. I jumped on the stretcher as well. Told my papa not to leave me. I didn't know then why it would totally wreck my world, me saying that. But by this time in my life, I had already figured out I was clairvoyant and kind of an empath. I'm using Tickled from palette 3 as well. Kind of an empath of sorts and clairvoyant. Figured this out while I was at my great-grandmother's funeral, which caused, mind you, caused quite a stir amongst the family. They didn't like a 3-year-old saying different things, you know? So, back to my papa. Like I said, I didn't know then that him having these problems was going to completely change my life forever. Like I said, he was my protector, my defender, my world, my everything. I loved my papa. That night, about, I believe it was 11, my mom wakes me up. My cousin Abby's on the phone. And she told me, she's like, baby girl, I need to talk to you. And I was still half asleep. I'm like, yes, I'm here. I'm up, I'm listening, I'm here. Talk to me. And she told me, she goes, baby girl, Papa went to heaven. He's not going to come home. And I knew. To come in with irreplaceable. I knew at that point that something wasn't right. Something just was not right. And I could tell by my cousin Abby's voice that it was serious. He passed away February 10th, 1999. Mind you, he was 85 years old at that point. So he had lived quite a life. He was a World War II Vietnam veteran. One of the best men in the world. He was a part of the fighter plane, the Dixie Demo. He served this country, and he served this country well. He was just the best person in the world. So, as you can imagine, 8-year-old me, I was actually very scared, and because I didn't know what was going on. All I knew is my papa wasn't coming home because he had passed away. He had went to heaven. Fast forward to January 1st, 2000. Y2K, everybody. Y2K. That date has forever been ingrained in my mind, because that date completely set my heart completely to change. That day was the day I became homeless. I was 9 years old. I was actually separated from my mom and my grandma and my uncle for a little while. I went with my aunt and uncle for a little while, and then I got moved to kind of a homeless shelter thing, to where they move you from place to place every week. I was getting ready to graduate middle school from 5th grade. Let me tell you, that wasn't easy, and that was not the easiest thing for a 9, almost 10-year-old. I'm going to use wood, kind of glittery, to go through when my house burned down, because my mama and my grandma had arranged for me to have my continuation dress made for me, and it was beautiful. It was made, but when the house burned down, the dress melted with it. It was so hot. The fire burned for like 5 hours before they were able to put it out. Mind you, the house I lived in was made by a World War I veteran, like I had said, but he had every type of metal you can imagine inside of that house. So it was basically a tank, plus there was a fallout shelter for the basement. I'm going to use doting, which is our white. Right here. When I was in one of the homeless shelters, like at like their day thing, when I got out of school and whatnot, I witnessed domestic violence and was attacked by a grown man. It was the worst possible thing ever for me, because I was really, really small. Like, I'm not even kidding. I was really tiny. I'm going to use a precision brow pencil, do my brows real quick. I literally went to the next location, which happens to be at a hospital. And my grandma and my mom were a part of a church called Northern Hills Christian Church, which is in Colorado still. There was a couple police officers that knew that the house burned down and tried to keep an eye on my whereabouts and whatnot. I'm going to come in with our Dip and Draw eyeliner in perfect. They came to the hospital because the hospital was in Thornton. That we were staying at, in a little makeshift room for everybody who needed a place to stay and whatnot. I was terrified. Because the guy that had done all that bad things and threw the baby and all of that stuff was there. I lost myself. I screamed. Because I didn't know what else to do. Touch Mineral Liquid Foundation in Scarlet. Yeah, I didn't know what to do. All I knew was it was scary. Basically, one of the police officers that went to church with my mom and grandma happened to show up at the hospital and talk to me. I cried in his arms. I remember his name. His name is Bill Twynham. And he was an officer with the Thornton Police Department in Colorado. So, finally got transferred out of there, back with my mom and my grandma. We went to a Catholic church, all women's house. Well, it was supposed to be all women. And let me tell you, it was not. There was a woman who had 2 sons. Horrible kids. Horrible. Horrible. Horrible kids. The oldest was so mean to me. All the time. He didn't care whose feelings he hurt. He just didn't give a crap. So it was summertime. And the oldest and the youngest were in the backyard with me at the house, and they attacked me. They ripped my shirt, and I ran. I ran as fast as my little legs could carry me. Screaming and crying, telling my mom and my grandma what happened. Oh, my grandma was so mad. She came unglued. I've never seen that woman so angry. She said a few choice words to their mother as well. So they called the priest that was there. And had the priest come over and try to talk to these two boys. One of the nuns swore that one of the boys was possessed. Because the little Catholic boys didn't do anything wrong like that. They never did. Got my sculpting trio back in light. Here's what that looks like. And it gives you a guide. Yeah. It was pretty crappy. Just pretty crappy. Sorry, I haven't played with this yet. I just got it back today. Coming in contour a little bit. Not exactly sure what ever happened to those two. I know they did get in trouble shortly after that had happened. Mind you, this was like 3 years after the house had burnt down. I was already in middle school. Which sucked. Because they had to bus me out of district to go to school. And part of the time while I was being bused to the school, especially in elementary school, some of the places didn't have a shower. So I had teachers help me bathe, shampoo at school. We got to go home. I can't tell you how exciting I was, how happy I was that I was finally able to come home. Like, there's no hiding how excited I was. Like, I kid you not. Like, I was over the moon. Very, 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 very excited. Like, it was the best day ever. It's the first time I ever got to have a room to myself. I didn't know what it was to have a room to myself. So seeing these kids complain because they have a room to themselves and it's not big enough. I'm going to throw a punch them. Because I was one of them kids that didn't have my own room. I didn't know what it was. So I was in middle school, and I remember 2001, September 11th. I was in class, and my science teacher, who, mind you, is from New York, his room.
Oh, I need to potty again.
I remember another teacher running into the room, yelling, "Turn on the TV, turn on the TV." We were under attack. We were under attack, and that's the exact words that my teacher had used. We are under attack. I remember watching the TV that day at school because they kind of put everything else on hold because it happened. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't understand. So I was like, okay, well, cool. I don't have to do work today. Later. Not too much later. Did I find out? I'm going to use my highlighter and benevolent that my beloved cousin Anne-Marie was an intern at the World Trade Center. All I knew at that point was she had not checked in. When we got the news that she was killed in the attacks, I was so traumatized because I didn't believe that that could happen to me. Sweet little girl. Nothing could happen to Megan. Nothing could happen to Megan's family. We were untouchable. I was wrong. Very wrong. And that would set the tone and change my life forever. So, got out of middle school, high school, yay. High school years that I will never, ever, 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 ever want to repeat. High school sucks. I'm going to come in with the eyelash primer. Maggie, go away. I was kind of a rebel. Oh, but my 8th grade year, because this is kind of a fun thing to talk about. I got to go to Mesa Verde with my 8th grade class. It was cool. It was like the coolest thing ever. However, I was attacked by a classmate. Because he thought it'd be fun to walk into the shower, saw I was in. Didn't knock, didn't do nothing. I had none the wiser. Needless to say, that was not a phone call that I would have loved to overhear when they had to call my mom and tell her what happened. Because I was 6 hours away from home with my teachers and my entire 8th grade class. Dun 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 dun. Yay. Life totally rocks for me right about now, don't you think? Oh, I don't know what happened. I don't know what that was. Sorry, I had to check in my mirror. Freshman year was interesting. It was. And high school completely sucked. I was not always the nicest good girl. In school, people didn't really like me all that much, and you know, I was okay with it. I had friends. Made some stupid decisions in school. But didn't we all? Um, hey, thanks for jumping on and watching. But sophomore year, well, freshman into sophomore, I was 15 years old. I ended up getting pregnant with my daughter out of circumstances I will not talk about because she's around. I wouldn't change it for the world. That is my girl. That is my rock. That is everything for me. I found out I was pregnant with her when I was 19 and a half weeks. That was hard. I'm going to bring some wood onto the lip as well. Perfect. That was a twin. So, Sorry. It's gonna take me a minute. Well, after that, I gave birth to her literally a week to the day after my 16th birthday. Happy birthday. I was a young mom. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was still in school. I had no idea how to be a mom. And she was so little. She was 5 pounds 15 ounces when I gave birth to her. 5 pounds when I brought her home. Preemie clothes were too big for her. The only clothes that fit were doll clothes. Until she was 6 months. So I became kind of a little bit of a scrapper, kind of edgy, bitchy, whatever you call it. At school and at home, I didn't care. I had the zero fucks given attitude. I didn't care. But I worked my ass off my junior year. My senior year was actually fairly short. I went 3 classes my first term. And then 1 class the second. And then I was done. Graduated May 10th of 2008. Yay, class of 2008, Adams City Eagles. Woohoo! And then fast forward to when I was 18. 17, 18, yeah. Social services got involved. And displaced me and Maggie out away from my mom. During this time, Maggie had health problems. At a year old, they thought she had leukemia because she would bruise and wouldn't clot and all of that. Almost lost her several times, which broke my heart and killed me. Right before I'd had to go back to my house, we were at a friend's house, which happened to be shot up by a drive-by shooting. This humbled me 110%. If it wasn't for my friend's dad having a dream catcher in the room, the front room where I was sitting on a chair watching TV. One of the bullets got caught in the dream catcher. If it would have went through the wall, it would have hit me in the head. I would not be here. At all. Got back home. I started going to school for criminal justice. Managed to go through that, but during that time, I started working as an exotic entertainer. This is not something that most people know about me. I'm not ashamed of it. It's made me who I am today. I did that for a very long time. I made money, I paid off bills, so on and so forth. That's all it was for me to pay off bills, medical bills. It just kind of sobers you up, because throughout that time, I had plenty of detectives come into me asking me to identify other entertainers.
Hold on 1 second. You're drinking wine without your sissy?
Yes. It's in the fridge. Um, I had to answer questions about over 20 different girls.
really do love you. Don't be mad.
I was not a nice person. I was very angry. And was very, 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 very mean to a lot of people. I hid it very well what I was doing. I was a heavy drinker.
What?
There are days I don't remember. There's probably about a week and a half that I don't remember out of my life.
No, it's not.
God knows what happened. During that time, I was sexually assaulted by a couple different people. I don't like to talk about it because when it's happened more than once in your life, you know, you start to think that it's your fault. Somehow, some way.
I know. And then you shut up.
But before this time, I actually had an engagement broken. I do not blame him at all. I know I wasn't ready. He was not ready at all. And it led the way to where I meet my husband. Interjects my husband. Friends tried to introduce us. I was not in the mood. I was not thrilled because when I met him, he was very, very confident. And I just wasn't about that. I wasn't in any mind frame that I wanted a relationship at all. And lost contact a little bit, then started talking again. In late 2013, we started dating. Finally made it public in 2014. He was such a charmer, though, when we started dating. He was great. Then we got married July 6th, 2014.
No,
He
you
wanted
weren't talking about me.
to get married on July 4th. Yes, I am talking about you. That didn't work out for him as well as he thought it was going to. Wasn't happening. I had gotten pregnant a couple times, and throughout our marriage, I miscarried 4 times. The last miscarriage I had the placenta separated from the uterine wall due to a doctor. That caused issues. I felt like I was doing something wrong because I couldn't carry a baby. Or any of that. But you look at this child and she's a spitting image of my husband and making me sick. She's out his ass. Maggie started getting sick in Colorado Springs at Fort Carson. We were trying to get transferred compassionate reassignment, and he was coming down on orders to come to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, where we have been since 2015. Hi, Athena. Hi, baby. Got here. Back in Colorado, they had sent me through fertility testing, started some fertility stuff there. Didn't work. So when we got here, they sent me back to fertility testing. I'm going to do every test imaginable, including an endometrial biopsy. If you guys don't know what that is something very, 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 very horrible. It butchered me. I started having severe issues. So much pain. I started really hating myself. I was in a very dark place after my miscarriages and going through fertility testing and that. Basically, 2016, everything stood still. Not going to talk about that because it pisses me off. And I'm getting over it. Well, I'm actually over it. It just still makes me mad. And 2017, my husband got out of the military. I started having issues. I started working at a Giro, and he was getting everything through the VA and whatnot. And then 2018, I went to the hospital because I was in so much pain after a doctor prescribed me birth control pills to help my cycles. Mind you, I wanted to die. I was willing to try anything and everything to make it stop. I told them to chop it off and just get rid of it. I didn't care. I did not care. It hurt so bad. I was begging for death. It made my husband mad. The hospital referred me to a gynecologist. The gynecologist said he wanted to do exploratory surgery, which happened in April of 2018. Went in, ass crack of dawn. Come out. I woke up to my doctor coming over to me, grabbing my hand, and these were the words he uttered. I was terrified. My world at this point was going to shatter. Grabbed my hand, looked me in the eye with tears. Baby girl, there is nothing I can do for you. You are beyond any help what I can do. From what I can tell, you have stage 4 endometriosis, adenomyosis, and pelvic congestion syndrome. If you don't know what that is a whole lot of bad and a whole lot of hurt all rolled up into one. He told me, he goes, Megan, we need to do a hysterectomy. I was 28. Went back in for my 2 weeks checkup, scheduled a hysterectomy. July 23rd, 2018, when my hysterectomy was. That was the longest 3 months of my life. I was in pain every single day. I bloated. I looked like I was pregnant every single day. If I sat too long, if I ate something, if I walked, it didn't matter what I did. I would bloat. Horribly. I was very, 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 very standoffish with everyone. I didn't care. July 23rd came. I was scared. I thought I was going to die. Had the hysterectomy. I was at home the same day in a crap ton of pain. 2-week check come up. Lo and behold, my world was going to crash again. He told me that the pathology report came back. It was okay, but there was cancer cells inside my uterus. They believed they had gotten it all, but I had to take a pill to kill everything. Wow. That's a hard pill to swallow, dude. Not only are you not able to have any more kids, you had everything stripped from you, but you find out it was cancer and you almost died. He told me I was lucky that he did the hysterectomy when I did, because my uterus was going to explode and I would have been dead. I healed pretty well. I just got into a very, 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 very dark spot. very dark. Like, I hated everyone. I hated me. I felt unworthy. That I couldn't do anything. And then
I should apologize, but you still shouldn't have called me a dumbass.
This year, I went to Colorado to visit Uncle Sonny and help Uncle Sonny out. That is when my friend Christina introduced me to Unique and their mission and all of that. And let me tell you, I'm a totally different person than I was. And it is because of the sisterhood and family aspect of Unique. I'm grateful because I'm not alone. They've shown me I'm not alone. They will not judge. They are there to support me. They don't care. Most of you don't know, I am a spiritual person. I come from a long line of clairvoyant people and druids and family that have been witches. That turns you off. So on. I am a child of the witches they could not burn. I have ancestry that proves that I had an aunt so long ago that was actually going to be tried during the Salem witch trials for witchcraft. That was in jail awaiting trial and execution for being a witch. And they disbanded it, and she was released. Mind you, they had executed so many innocent people. She was actually a witch. Oh well, not scary at all. She was a healer. Don't care. But this company is amazing. They will lift you up and help. Like, literally when they say that they're here to uplift, empower, and validate women, 1,000%. I get to go to Orlando, Florida for the convention. I would have never, ever, 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 ever able to go to Florida or Orlando or be anywhere close to Disney World or Orlando Studios or SeaWorld. Ever. It is amazing. I'm trying to build a team and build my empire and help so many others that have been through what I have. And the Unique Foundation helps women that have been sexually abused as children. Me. I'm a survivor. I wear that flag proudly because I can come back from it. I'm not gonna lie, it does affect my relationships now. But you know what? I have a husband that is amazing. He supports me 1,000%. And I couldn't be even more grateful. We've just celebrated our 5th-year wedding anniversary. Hey, Ada. Which is great. I felt like it was necessary tonight to share my story with you guys. So you guys know where I come from and understand the gravity of why I do what I do. Because for me, it's not about anything else. I'm working to be able to help those women and those children. I'm here to stop the 1 in 4. Because sadly, 1 in 4 children will be victims of sexual abuse. I was a victim. And I don't want anybody else to ever be victimized. It needs to stop. That is why I'm a warrior. And I'm there to help out. And help anybody else who needs it. And yes, I've said this once and I will say it again. I will succeed in this company. I am not going anywhere. I am going to be a presenter and am in love with these products as much as ever, I will be a future black status presenter, which is the top 2% of the company. If you're wanting to follow me on that path, join me. If you don't have the money right now, there is something called Klarna. It is amazing. It has helped. I've used it. You make payments and you tell them how much you need. They give you a virtual card for shopping online, and guess what? You can pay it down. We have 3 kids. Depends on what you want. This company is 100% worth it. If you're willing to work it and work it as a business and do your best at it, it's amazing. If not, come enjoy the products. You get a discount on products being a presenter. Plus you get sisters. We call each other yesties. Unique besties. It's truly amazing. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to reach out to me. I am always here to answer any questions and be there. If you need somebody to just talk to, vent, or somebody to cry with, I'm there for you. I got you. But I'm going to jump off here since I'm going to finish my wine. This was a very, very, very hard life for me. I got down to the nitty-gritty with you guys. Admitted some things I never thought I would have the courage to. But I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing night. And I will talk to you guys, if not tomorrow, I will talk to you guys on Sunday. Love you guys. Have a great night.